Good afternoon. My name is Amy Mason and I'm the administrator of Adams County Christian School. We are actively working our hardest to prepare for in-session schooling beginning August the 24th. A couple of things I just want to notify parents about because I get lots of questions on these few things. Number one, you can call the school office at any time. Please leave a message if we don't answer. If we're not physically here during normal school time hours or office hours, we do have that phone transferred to one of the secretary's voicemails. So leave a voicemail, leave a number, and we'll be able to answer any specific questions that you have. Please don't worry about bothering us during school time or office hours. That's what we're here to do. So that will probably help us to communicate with you the best way possible. Two, we did release on Facebook today a reset and restart plan for Adams County Christian School. This is a working document. Every day we get a little bit bigger piece of the puzzle as to what schooling might look like in this COVID situation. So there could be adjustments and changes made often, but this at least will let you guys know the plans that we have right now and some of the things that we put in place to make sure that we're prepared to safely bring kids back to school if we're able to do so. So please look to Facebook for that. If you do not have Facebook, those of you that we know are not on Facebook or some of the new families that we're not really sure if you're on our private Facebook page or not, we have sent those out via email. If you did not receive it via email or through the Facebook message, please reach out to the school number 937-544-5502 and we will make sure we get that document to you for your review. We have been working very, very hard this summer on many improvements throughout the school. The gymnasium has had multiple improvements with the new bleachers. All the facilities that can be painted in the gym have been painted. The bathrooms have been updated. We have just been working very hard on some different things in there. We're going to be having new cafeteria tables. They've been ordered and they'll be coming in, and just different ways that we're going to be able to space kids out easier, and that we're going to be able to sanitize in between kids while they eat their lunches. I get a lot of questions about whether we're going to have pizzas on Fridays, Wednesdays, and those kind of things. As far as I know, we will still institute some of those going forward because we will have staff that will be passing out the food and the kids wouldn't be getting that themselves. But as we get closer to school, we'll have those final answers for you. But don't worry, kids, we won't make you pack your lunch every day if we can help it. When school actually gets started, there's lots of changes that are going to happen. It is my goal to give these students the most, quote, normal class experience that they can have. But we all know with the changes in COVID that has hit right here in Ohio since March, there is a new normal. And so we need to take that into account as we're preparing to come back for school. And so we as teachers, administration, we have been working through some of those details. If you have specific questions for your students, feel free to reach out to the school and we'll try our best to get those answers to you in a timely manner. We are prepared to have to remote learn. Remote learning would be something that we hope not to have to do, but we do understand that numbers in Ohio are going up right now as they are across the country. And so if that becomes a necessity for us, we are prepared to do that. Last year, to finish out the school year, all schools across the nation were really scrambling to figure out how to properly remote learn. We definitely learned some things that you guys liked, and we learned some things that were really difficult for you as parents and students last school year. So with that in mind, we did do a major curriculum overhaul for this year alone. We will be doing accelerated Christian education. If you'd like to know what that looks like a little bit more, feel free to Google that, and you can look into a little bit what a PACE is. But we're going to be adding different updates on this YouTube channel often, or on a YouTube channel that we'll put together for the school often that will kind of help parents and students know what to prepare. We will not be having a traditional open or back to school night like we had before. We're going to be working things out that much differently. So one of the biggest things for us to communicate with you as parents is we need to know if Facebook or YouTube is not a good avenue for you, how best to communicate that information to you. And so please let the office know if you prefer to get your communication via email, if you prefer to get your communication via Facebook. But one way or another, we need to make sure that we're communicating properly with all families. I don't mind doing the one calls, and we do them often, but that's only a minute, and I can only talk so fast, and you can only comprehend so much in that short amount of time. So I'm going to try to prevent those from being large pieces of information, but more do one calls to say, hey, a new piece of information is out at this particular, whether via email or Facebook, and you guys can go look for it at that point. So we are prepared to remote learn for any portion of the school year that it would be required. The biggest challenge that we had last year was getting that up and running, and we are completely honest, as every school had to be, your students did not learn as much in that 9-week time as they would have had they been on site. Going forward, we are tasked with the overwhelming chore to make sure that your kids get a full year's education. And we believe with the curriculum change that one way or another, we are prepared to teach every subject to your student if we were forced to go into a remote learning situation with the challenges of very limited internet capability to a lot of Adams County, and therefore a lot of our students don't have that capability. So what were we doing now? The biggest challenge that we have going forward in preparing for this curriculum change is going to be understanding exactly where your child's learning levels are right now. We do need to do a diagnostic test for most students throughout the school to get a good idea of exactly where you're going to land diagnostically, and that we are providing the proper curriculum and that we have it here on day one ready for your student to start. With that being said, grades 2nd through 9th for sure need to receive some form of diagnostic testing. We will be opening the school next Thursday, July the 30th. We will be available from 9 to noon and from 3 to 7 for that diagnostic testing. You're free to call the office and just find out if there's a good time, or you're free to just stop in during those time frames for your families. We'll have several classrooms available and several teachers available to help oversee that diagnostic testing. We will be testing your students in English, reading, and math to make sure where their learning level is so that we're prepared for the first of the year. That will be Thursday, July the 30th from 9 to noon or from 3 to 7. We will also be open for the school for diagnostic testing on Friday, July 31st from 9 to 3. As much as possible, we need those families to come in all families to come in those time frames, because it will take us a few days to get these diagnostic tests graded and prepared so that we can make a proper order and have all curriculum available for each one of our students. I know there's a lot of questions regarding Ed Choice. There's a lot of questions about, I don't know if I've got my grant yet. I don't know for sure if my student's going to be coming to ACCS. I would encourage you to please still have your student diagnosed tested. This will be we'll give you the results whether you end up here at Adams County Christian School or not, so it will help each one of your parents, but it will help us primarily because unfortunately Ed Choice is always last minute for many students. Sometimes we don't find out until school starts. I will work with each family individually if we get down to the wire and you still don't know whether you have a scholarship or not. With that said, we've had several scholarships that have been starting to be approved and paperwork has been received to families just recently. But I would encourage all families that have registered here to attend our school, even if they don't know if they're going to get a scholarship, to please come in for this diagnostic training and testing so that we can be prepared if you do come to our school. There will be many questions. I am tasked with the overwhelming ability or overwhelming job to balance each parent's concerns. I have some parents who are very concerned that our constitutional rights are going out the window with all of these changes. I have some parents who are very concerned that their children or themselves might become ill because they send their children to school. We're on both ends of the spectrum, and I have no desire to take a look at this at all from a political standpoint. We will do our best in every decision that we make here at Adams County Christian School for it to be a decision based on data and information from our families, and try to find that happy medium for all families so that everybody can come back to school and be comfortable in doing so. I am not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. I am going to have to rely on those teams of people who are giving me information. I'm relying heavily on the Department of Education, on our local health department to help us make each and every decision to be very wise. With that said, I would encourage all families to remember that we're a Christian organization. We put our faith and trust in Jesus Christ for the protection of each and every one of our students and our families. And so we will try our best to find that balance of faith and trust, but yet with using good wisdom in every decision that we make, as this is a year that every school and every administration has had to determine what decisions are going to be at best for their group of students. I know that you guys have chosen to send your students here, and I take that as a great, great responsibility that I am prepared to make wise decisions for your children. Thank you for placing your trust in us. Thank you for placing your trust in Adams County Christian School. And please feel free to reach out to the school office if you have questions for me or for any of our staff, that we would be able to better assist you in making final decisions and final preparations for school. We are so excited for August 24th, and we look forward to being able to welcome students back on site here for education, if at all possible. So please join with us in prayer as we pray and go forward from this point, that God will keep our children safe and that we'll be able to educate them both spiritually, emotionally, educationally, and be able to provide all their social needs that they also have need of at this time. Thank you very much.